Good morning, students. Today, we are going to start a quite interesting and most important topic in our examination point of view, that is molecular basis of inheritance. The topic is molecular basis of inheritance. First, we have to know about the molecular biology. Molecular biology. How can we define this molecular biology? Means study of macromolecules, and their functions in living things such as replication, gene expression, etc. Okay, how can we define this? Study of macromolecules and their functions in living things such as replication, gene expression, etc. That is molecular biology. So the term molecular biology was coined by Warren Weaver. The term molecular biology was coined by Warren Weaver. So first time in 1869, Friedrich Miescher, the scientist, Friedrich Miescher, observed the post cells. Then he observed one chemical substance inside the nucleus. Okay, whenever he observed the post cells, in that he observed one chemical substance inside the nucleus and named it nuclein. Later, the scientist Altman, this nuclein named as nucleic acids. Okay, whenever the Altman observed the chemical substance, because of this acidic nature, this nuclein named as nucleic acids. At the time of Mendel said the characters are controlled by unit factors. What Mendel said actually? Characters are controlled by unit factors. These characters transferred, or there is a transmission of characters from one generation to other generation. Okay, what Mendel said actually? Characters are controlled by unit factors. Transmission of characters from one generation to other generation. So this type of genetics we are called as classical genetics or transmission genetics. But we need to know two questions. In this, we need to know two questions. So what are those? What is the biochemical nature of this chemical? What is the biochemical nature of this chemical? What is the mode of function of gene? What is the mode of action or the function? Action of this factor or gene. Because this factor later were called as gene. So Mendel only told these two, but at that time accurately there is no gene, that is the factor. Later this factor were called as gene. But we need to know the two important things. What is the biochemical nature of this chemical? What is the mode of action of this gene? So these two questions. So we need to get the answer in this chapter, that is molecular basis of inheritance. So based on that, there are two important nucleic acids in living things. Let me know. Those are DNA and RNA. DNA and RNA are the two important nucleic acids. In this, DNA is the deoxyribo nucleic acid. RNA is the ribonucleic acid. Okay, DNA means deoxyribonucleic acid, RNA means ribonucleic acid. So these are the two important nucleic acids in the living things. In this, the DNA is the most putative genetic material. Putative means universal. Okay, the universal genetic material is the DNA. That means in majority of the organisms, the DNA acts as a major genetic material. But sometimes RNA also acts as a genetic material in few viruses. But majority of the time, this RNA acts as a mask. Yes, you see, mask. During this time, the mask is compulsory. In this, some words I will explain you. RNA act as a mask. That means M. RNA act as a messenger. A. RNA act as a adapter. S. RNA plays a structural role. C. RNA plays a catalytic role. Okay, these are the functions of RNA. Simply, just you remember mask. Then you have to write this RNA act as a messenger, RNA act as a adapter, RNA plays a structural and catalytic role. Catalytic role means this RNA act as an enzyme. So which RNA act as an enzyme? That is 23S rRNA act as an enzyme. 23S rRNA. So this enzyme we are called as a ribozyme. When nucleic acid act as an enzyme, that is 23S rRNA, that is called as ribozyme. So these are the two important nucleic acids, DNA and RNA. Now we go for components of these nucleic acids. First, the scientist Albert Kossel discovered the constituents of the nucleic acids or the components of the nucleic acids. Albert Kossel discovered the constituents of the nucleic acid. are the components of the nucleic acid. Those are nitrogen base, pentose sugar, and phosphate. Nitrogen base, pentose sugar, and phosphate. These are the constituents of the components of nucleic acid which was discovered by Albert Kossel. There is an important bond, hydrogen bonds. These hydrogen bonds was discovered by L.C. Pauling, the scientist. So now we have to know the components of nucleic acids. We go for the nucleic acids. That means nucleotides are the building blocks. Nucleotides are the building blocks of these nucleic acids. Okay, nucleotides are the building blocks of these nucleic acids. Number of nucleotides are joined and form a long polynucleotide chain. Okay, whether we go for DNA, it is a long polymer of deoxyribonucleotide chain. Now we have to know the components of nucleotides, the composition of the nucleotides. Yes, you see components of nucleotides. Phosphates or the phosphoric acid H3PO4 having negative charge. Nucleoside. Okay, phosphorylated nucleosides were called as nucleotides. Okay, phosphorylated nucleosides were called as nucleotides. In these nucleosides again, there is an pentose sugar, nitrogen bases. Pentose sugar and a nitrogen bases. In this nitrogen bases and pentose sugar, first in the pentose sugar there is an deoxyribose sugar, ribose sugar. In nitrogen bases, there are purines, pyrimidines or the pyrimidines. Okay, nucleotide composition, phosphate or the phosphoric acid, nucleosides. That means phosphorylated nucleosides were called as nucleotides. In the nucleoside, we find the combination that is pentose sugar and nitrogen base. The pentose sugars are two types actually in the nucleic acid, that is deoxyribose sugar and ribose sugar. Nitrogen bases are purines and pyrimidines. The purines are adenine, guanine. Pyrimidines are adenine, guanine are the purines. Thymine, cytosine, uracil are the pyrimidines. Okay, so this is the composition of this phosphate or the phosphoric acid. Now you see, so this is the phosphate or the phosphoric acid. Okay, having free hydroxyl groups. In these free hydroxyl groups, in these three free hydroxyl group, two hydroxyl groups will be involved in the structural formation of the nucleic acids. Okay, So it's having negative charge. Then nucleoside. Nitrogen bases pentose sugar combinedly we are called as nucleoside. In this we find pentose sugar, that is the deoxyribose sugar, ribose sugar. This deoxyribose sugar we find in DNA, ribose sugar we find in RNA. Deoxyribose sugar we find in DNA, ribose sugar we find in RNA. So structurally, a small difference in between deoxyribose and ribose sugar. First, we go for structure. So pentose sugar, it is a ring-like structure, Peyronie's ring. In this, 4 of the 5 carbon atoms, 1 oxygen atom. Okay, 4 of the 5 carbon atoms, 1 oxygen atom form a ring-like structure. 5th carbon is free. In this, 5th carbon is free. Okay, now you see the structure. Okay, now you see the structure of pentose sugar. In this, there is an deoxyribose sugar and there is an ribose sugar. Okay, this is the deoxyribose sugar and this is the ribose sugar. Now you see here a small difference. The carbon number is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 5th carbon is located to outside of the ring. In this, if it is deoxyribose sugar, at the second position there is only hydrogen. At the second position of the carbon there is only hydrogen, deoxy. Okay, but if we take the ribose, in ribose sugar, at the second position we find a hydroxyl group. At the second position of the carbon there is an hydroxyl group in case of ribose sugar. In the case of DNA there is a removal of oxygen, that's why we mentioned deoxy. Okay, in the case of deoxyribose, at the second position there is no hydroxyl group, there is a removal of oxygen, that's why it is deoxyribose, it is the ribose sugar. Deoxyribose sugar we can find in the DNA, ribose sugar we can find in RNA. This hydroxyl group is the most reactive group, that's why compare with the DNA, RNA is the less stable. Compare with the DNA, RNA is the less stable. Okay, so these are the pentose sugars, that is deoxyribose and ribose sugar. Okay. Now here see nitrogen bases. After pentose sugar there are some nitrogen bases. These nitrogen bases are the adenine, guanine, are the purines, thymine, cytosine, uracil are the pyrimidines or pyrimidines. Okay, these are the nitrogen bases which will be involved in the structure formation of the DNA. Adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine. is present in DNA, adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine, present in DNA. Suppose if it is an RNA, adenine, guanine, cytosine, uracil. In case of RNA, instead of thymine, just there is an uracil. Adenine, guanine, thymine, cytosine is present in DNA. Adenine, guanine, cytosine, uracil. Instead of thymine, we mentioned uracil. So for this also, the RNA is less stable compared with the DNA. The common nitrogen bases are adenine, guanine, cytosine. Adenine, guanine, cytosine are the common nitrogen bases in DNA and RNA. Okay, in DNA there is an thymine, in RNA there is an uracil. So these are the small change in between the nitrogen bases in the case of DNA and RNA. Okay, so adenine, guanine, 9. Adenine, guanine are the purines. Just you remember, if there is a small word, the structure big. Okay, if it is small, the structure is big one. In the word there is a meaning, adenine, guanine. That means these are the 9-membered ring compounds. Okay, these are the 9-membered ring compounds, heterocyclic ring compounds with C and N. Okay, in these 9-membered ring compounds, one ring is the pyrimidine ring and second one is the imidazole ring. These two rings are joined at 4th and 5th positions. In these 9 ring compounds, at 1, 3, 7, 9 positions, we find the nitrogen atom. Then you see the pyrimidines. These are the monocyclic ring compounds. So these are the bicyclic ring compounds. These are the monocyclic ring compounds. 6-membered ring compounds. Okay, these are the 9-membered ring compounds. The word is big. Pyrimidines, the structure is small. Means it is a monocyclic ring, 6-membered ring compound. In this, at 1 and 3 positions, there is a nitrogen. Okay, these are the purines and pyrimidines. Just that is the variation in between these two, purine and pyrimidine. Okay, so in the case of purines, just you see, these purines are the heterocyclic ring compounds CN. These are the bicyclic ring compounds. These are the 9-membered ring compounds. Two rings are, one is pyrimidine ring and second one is imidazole ring. These rings are joined at 4th and 5th positions. Okay, rings are joined at 4th and 5th position. In these two rings, 1, 3, 7, 9 positions, there is a nitrogen. Okay, so these are the characteristic features of the purines. These are the heterocyclic compounds with C and N. These are the bicyclic or the double cyclic ring compounds. There is a 9-membered ring compound. One is the pyrimidine ring and other one is the imidazole ring. These rings are joined at 4th and 5th positions. At 1, 3, 7, 9 we find the nitrogen. Okay, so these are the characteristic features of the purines. Then we go for the structure of these purines. Okay, structure of these purines. So structure of the purines and pyrimidines we'll discuss in our next class.